What's up, y'all? It's your boy Maverick. Welcome back to Maverick's Point of View. Guys. So the first thing I want to do is apologize for last week. I was exhausted because I was literally going to catch a flight. Like, just the whole car week, anytime there's car week, it's like madness. And we set up a big event. MMF, helping out with MMF. Love those guys. Love the team. Paulo, my brother Drew, Gabe, just putting that together. Like seeing that event finally put together after seeing and hearing and talking back and forth about all the plans and everything throughout the years is so dope. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm gonna stick to the charts, but I wanted to apologize because I was extremely exhausted. And I realized I didn't go in depth as I should have with the charts, but I did enough, right? So I always do enough. It's just I always could do better, and I'm giving y'all that right now. So anyway, what I did realize is last week I didn't leave in the move that I actually took. So you can remember trading is about your way, your style. I'm showing you guys the cleanest moves to take, right? The moves that you're gonna take and you're gonna feel confident in, and you're not gonna get out, or you know what I'm saying. Like there's just the trades that by the time it gets to that area, it's gonna go in your direction, right? But there's all you can always take different entries. It's based on whatever you see, right? Based on whatever strategy you've seen that you executed over time consistently that's been working for you. So for me, as y'all did not last week but the week before, because I changed it and updated it last week to be these two moves, but still the move before was correct as well. I'm going to show you guys on another chart, this one here. Okay, so this chart I had, if you guys watched the latest video on entries and how to do entries, I put this chart up. And so I was just really trying to show people how to do entries. So we got find your trend, mark up all your relevant zones, and mark up all your moves, and create execution levels. Right. Go back and watch that video so you can see, insert into that video exactly how to get your entries. But I'm using this because this move was there last week, right? And I wanted to keep that move because on the long term basis, this is how you want to trade. You want to be looking for these moves, right? So when the market came up and locked in above here, and then it did do this, it didn't do it perfectly because I have this big zone. What I did, obviously, this was on a long term basis, so I didn't tweak the zones. I'm just doing it to do it so you guys could see how to enter. However, with that move in mind, go back to now this chart, right? And you see how I had this zone here. That's exactly what it did. The market went up, it closed above here, it dipped back down to the bottom of the zone, which is this right here. This is this territory, the bottom of that previous territory. Sellers try to push, they could not succeed, and then it went all the way back up, and it went past this zone. So you still got this move. Look right here, that was a buy, but I took this buy right here, and I took one up here. But I took this buy. That was my first buy, and I took it all the way, and I'm still sitting in those trades right now, actually. So they're still positive, which is lovely because that is 25,000 points, bro. That's why we wait and we be patient for our moves so we can get in moves like that, right? So here is the zone. I'm gonna draw the next zone, but I wanted to show y'all that this move was still proper. It was still good. It's just I gave y'all the sharper move to keep y'all, not being tripped up by the market makers, because this was a trick. This was a trick to get y'all out of the continuation of this move. So if y'all see, it started here when we got the break of this previous high, right? And it kept going to now the next zone. That's what the market keeps doing all the time, right? It's gonna keep doing it over and over and over again. So let me clean this up a little bit so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So again, I'll move it over. There we go. That's perfect continuation, guys. We had the break above this high. Nice strong volume. This is what I mean by strong volume. Is just one strong bar. Is the buyers are like, hey, we're done waiting. We're taking over, right? When you see that happen, that's good money, right? Um, and then when I want to hold on, I gotta get ready to head out. So what I want to tell y'all about this move is that this is really when you start to see the flow in the charts, right? This is where we really start to see the moves going in our favor, but also where we really start to see the volume that we've been waiting for, where we really start to see the trends being erased. So right now, this downtrend is steadily being erased, right? The highs got broke, this high got broken, this high got broken, this high got broken, right? So that's three different highs that's gotten broken. So we might be now moving into our uptrend again and continuing the swing upwards. Because remember, if you're looking at the charts appropriately, you should be seeing this. You should be seeing, oh, we've been in an uptrend for the last 2 years, right? We had this down, right? We had this downtrend for a bit, but look, we weren't able to pass this weekly zone, right? So by having the whole picture, remember, whole picture, if you're marking up the whole entire picture, if you start with your monthly, go down to your weekly, you see this is a weekly zone. It might be a monthly too, actually. No, just a weekly. Okay, this is a weekly zone, and it's stronger than the daily. It's stronger than the H12, which we use, your 4 hours and stuff that we don't use, right? But this is a significant zone. So as you see, when the market got here, this territory for buyers, they were just waiting. They were like, "We're not gonna let y'all push past." That's what all this confusion was for the summer. This was all summer basically. They wanted to get y'all out. They wanted to trick y'all out so that when they continue the uptrend, they don't gotta worry about it. And why do I feel confident that we're continuing back into an uptrend? Because last time we were here, look at all this volume we got. All right, I think it was 120,000, 150. Wow, even better. So now we can seek to gain at least the same value, all right, which will put us back up here, 150,000, or at least here, and we'll carry it along the way. That's the point is we'll keep looking to do the same thing over and over and over again along the way, but I feel good about us pushing here. However, remember, I approach the market in phases and stages, and wherever it's at, I treat it where it's at, right? And to be more specific about treating it where it's at. If the market is currently showing me an uptrend, showing me direction, I'm going to keep following that and I'm going to keep measuring it up against the highs that I've had, right? So now that we're going back into an uptrend, I'm going to keep looking at this high. Do we pass this high? Okay, that's a continuation. Do we pass this high? Okay, that's a continuation, right? The more highs we pass, the more this trend continues and we just keep going and going and going. So, boom, right? I really want to use the top of it, but I think this is the weekly. Yeah, so that was a weekly zone there. Okay, so our zones match up. Everything matches up. Give me one quick second. So I can add this zone here. So this is where we're at. This is where we've ended at for the week. Go to 12 hours just so you can zoom in a little bit. You'll see that we are right above. So this week ended obviously positive, but it also ended above this level at what we're at 4602 right now. It ended up above this level of 4593. So we're looking like we're going to continue our uptrend, right? Our highs are just getting knocked out, and that is a good sign for us, right? We got higher highs and higher lows. So let me go back to the daily. Let me erase these now that you guys have seen the moves. Boom. But this was a perfect execution here. All right. Yeah, if you got in right at the end of the day, that's your prerogative. Draw down. There's 20,000 points down. But hey, this entry not only is it 11,000 points up, or 8,000 now, but it peaked at 11,000 points at the end of the weekend. I'm sorry, 8,000 points at the end of the weekend, 8,400. And we're continuing up. So this might turn into a 36,000 point move, might turn into a 24,000 point move, whatever the case is. It's probably going to at least do the 1-to-1 like we always say. So 24, 21, 24,000. That's what I'm looking at. We're looking at 24,000 points on that entry. This is going to be a decent time to get back into. But also, if you got out, there's nothing wrong with that. That's you get out, you secure your points, and you get back in. So really, what I could just do is just move this up. So now that's what we should be looking at, right? No, let me fix this. I'm gonna make it a little better. All right, so we're here. All right, so the marker's here. We might get the bounce and then come down, and we're just gonna follow it to the next zone, guys. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be wise about it. We're gonna be smart about it. We're not gonna overshoot. We're just gonna follow it to the next zone. Boom. Okay, perfect. So yeah, as you guys seen, again, they try to trick everybody out. Boom, straight to the top. So what I did actually, and this is an advanced trick, but when I start seeing volume like this, I'll put a order up here high enough because I see that we're in an uptrend. I'll put an order here high enough so that way once something like this happens, boom, we're good. That's exactly how I got into this move. That's why I said I don't know exactly where I'm at because I didn't wait for the day to end. I knew volume looked good, so I was like, okay, I was betting and willing to bet on that move going in my favor. And that's what the market is, betting in your favor after you've got all your due diligence done. It increases your probabilities to 90%, bro. So, and at 10% you lose, you ain't really tripping about it because you're back in the game. Or you could wait, for the day to close, wait for some drawdown, and you're good to go. So, yes, this is the move I'm looking for. Matter of fact, anything less than this, I'm not touching. That's how you keep it simple, right? So let's do this. Let's, because this is the end of the week. Boom. So it might come back down, and go up. Or I'm looking for this, for it to go through, bounce off of this high that it already made, and then continue upward. So if you guys see it fail, look for it to kind of bounce off of this zone that it previously was at, the previous high that we have marked right here, and keep going. But just so we continue to identify our highs, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before I stop the video, trying to make this video shorter for you guys. We ended the week with a higher high. This high is higher than this high, right? So the only high that we can challenge, right? The next zone that we can challenge is right here. So that's where we're going to bet that the market is going to push to. Now I'm gonna hold my trades. I got my trades protected here and here, so I ain't taking it out for nothing. But you guys, look for a better move if you didn't get in already, or wait for one of these moves. And yeah, take the market as it comes. Like I said, guys, I'm very excited that volume has come back. Though it was a long summer. We were dealing with all this craziness, and now volume is back. This is a good sign, right? Especially when you see this. These are those channels that we talked about. The market makers playing games so that they get people out of the moves, right? Anytime you see this, this is where you're like, okay, something's happening. Same thing here. The market makers were playing games all throughout there, as we've already talked about. Just another recap. Market makers were playing game. Oh shoot, I closed it. Sorry. All throughout this level, market makers were playing. As you saw, volume started getting tighter and tighter, and then boom, we were out of there, right? The market makers do that to get people out of moves. Anytime you see the matrix consolidating for an extended period of time, the market makers are loading up a move, right? It's like a cheat code. They're loading up a move. You can't really see it on the lower time frames as good as you can on the higher time frames, right? That's why I stick to the daily, etc. On the weekly, those time frames, you can see what's happening, right? You can see all this craziness. You can see that you're not getting any definition, but this week ends with good volume. You're like, okay, going to the next week, I should be going higher up, right? Now, I like to get in on the daily because that's the execution point of the weekly. But that's just so you can see the overall picture, right? I want to continue to explain the overall picture so you guys get what's going on. Now, I'm going to identify one more high, and then we're out of here, guys. I hope you guys are learning. That's the whole point of this channel. It's not just, to give y'all trades or show y'all where the market's going to go. It's so y'all can learn how to do this yourself. Teach a man how to fish. All right. So that's right now, that's our ultimate high point. This is our ultimate high point, but this is the high point that we're pushing for. It might take the month. It might take 2 months. So we're going to see what happens. But anyway, I got to go. I got a meeting to catch on to. Got a lot of business stuff. A lot of stuff cooking. I think I want to talk to you guys about it later. But either way, I gotta go. So thank you guys again for tuning in. This has been Maverick's Point of View. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys continue to follow this channel and this page and just dive into the moves. Like, we're going over the charts very in depth. Nobody's doing this, right? Nobody's giving y'all the sauce like this. So thank you again for tuning in. Maverick's Point of View, and I am out. Peace.